Hi, welcome to Mystic Moons. It's the middle of the week, in the middle of January. It's roughly the second week of the new year, the year of the horse, 2026. And of course, it's been a rocky 2 weeks for 2026. I said 2020, didn't I? I guess I'm just lost in time. Numbers are numbers. Does it matter? It matters for once it's past, it's history for those who care to record it. Those who are left to record history. What would they say about these countries? European Union, the United States, Russia, Africa? What would they say about all these countries? Tell me, what do you think that they would say? We knew so much, we did so much, we were so much, were, in the past. You have to reflect. Do you like what's going on or do you not like what's going on? There's always room for improvement. I mean, that's an adage. That's an old norm, an everyday rule for existence in a community. Excuse me. However, lately, well, maybe lately in terms of like, you're going to survive or you're going to what? What do they call it? Our own immortality. Our mortality as humans are being questioned. That's what's so difficult in 2026. People act like they don't even know the word war, right? They don't even know the word war. And you can look in the back of this and it says, what is America? I have a little cold, so typical mountain winter things. Nothing serious. But you can ask yourself, war. People aren't really grasping what war is. Yeah, give it to them. They're like, it's being said by people who don't even matter. I mean, they wouldn't even be, it's like this peanut gallery that's calling for war or just cavalierly or just casually mentioning war. They would have nothing to do with anything, but they're just like throwing the topic of war like they would announce a social party, like a party, gathering, music, fancy dresses, weird dresses, wash bodies, things like that. But now we have to ask ourselves that are we involved in something that was cooked up last minute? Or have we been tumbling towards a series of events? But I'm going to get something to drink. Hold on. I got some tea. What's been going on may seem like spur of the moment. It may seem like something that's just been cooked up. Would it surprise you that what's happening is current events, wars, domestic and international, are something that's been planned? And since it's a plan, everybody has a trigger, right? A trigger to make things start or to make things get nasty. You should never, there's enemies of peace, enemies of sharing, enemies of just being cool. There are people that have to be in this perpetual state of aggravation, and that they expect us to be like dominoes, or be like, fire ants, or something that, like, we're doing our little thing and then somebody comes in and sprays us with hot water, or bug spray. Of course, they are spraying us with bug spray because look in the damn skies, chemtrails constantly. I've never seen so much chemtrail activity over these skies. It makes you not want to go out. Have you ever lived in a beautiful place? Beautiful place. I'm sure you have. And the day is just fabulous. The sun's out, temperature is great, and you're in a beautiful rock garden outside. But then when you sit down, you go, I've made it, or at least I'm sitting in a beautiful place. You look up in the heavens, up in the sky, and you see nothing but crisscross, 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 and you see these zipper clouds. It definitely spoils the mood. It's like, then you think about all that creepy heavy metals falling on top of your body. But that's another subject. But that's what reminds you that we are not in peaceful times. We're into something that's been planned. Every single thing, the seeding of the clouds, the agitation of the masses, the artificiality of the food, the chemical poisons that we drink and eat, are all part of the plan to get us more and more dislocated and ready to, like, vent, ready to be agitated. And then we see all these drugs for depression. Things like that. And then you have to, and then when things are not moving fast enough, they push like ice. Ice is supposed to round up the 100 plus million immigrants that came in during Joe Biden's era. Of course, they've been coming before Joe Biden and, of course, after Joe Biden. But the point is, lots of them. We can still see the photographs coming in and just in lines. And they got, like, top of the, 4-star hotels. They got food, they got this, they got that, they got cash. While we, the citizens, sat and grumbled. Or just like, they can afford the great mortgage, the new cars, the great rents, because we were paying it. Whereas the citizens, we were like, all right. It would have been all right if we could have gone to their country and given up, 5-star treatment, at least 4-star treatment. But anyway, the great Statue of Liberty. Welcome all ye unwashed people, broke ass people. Come here, come there, come here, come there. Come here to America. Now, we've been having ICE going around, just really, if somebody's not dressed to the nines, dressed in designer clothes, and gives a haute couture look, like, F you, how dare you? Please. If you don't have that look, you are apparently being shoved to the curb. You're apparently being, rounded up like you were a sack of potatoes. And you were given welcomes, or it just, can you imagine you're driving along in your car and all of a sudden a bunch of, like, hobbit-sized army guys come out with weapons bigger than themselves, and they're saying, get out of the door, get out of the car, and blah, blah, blah. And just because they don't like the way you look. Ooh, that's pretty rough. That's enough to make anybody schizoid, because you're in the car behind your wheel doing your thing. You're like, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. Da, 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 da. You're bouncing off your time and your day. You're having all these kind of conversations. Plus, you're listening to the time and the radio and monitoring the traffic. And then wham. And all of a sudden, you got these, like, hotheads get out of a car, unmarked car, and you wonder, are these some sort of gang? Or, their faces are covered. Yeah, anybody can buy khakis. You can go to Army Navy store and buy khakis, right? Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, so, that's the whole thing. We're going to ask ourselves, now, is ICE, the immigration brown shirts, who are becoming federal agencies, they're giving $50,000, just a bonus if you would join their private group of enforcement nomads. You can be deployed anywhere in the United States. And you could be like, you're making money just to bounce on people. And of course, you probably, I don't know for sure, but you probably have to be aggressive because you probably, how many did you hit today? Well, you got to get 25 people per day. It's like when you go out, when the cops in the city, they have to give a certain amount of tickets to get their paycheck per day. It's the same thing with, that's good. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I want you to think, what if, I'm in a state right now, but it's one of the 5 states that say, no. ICE cannot come in. Now, no matter how I feel about immigration myself, that's nowhere deserving of the way that people are being treated. Especially since they were saying, "Come on, the big welcome," and now you get the big up your backside. You get the big kick in the boot. Get out now. And of course, they're going to go after the easiest targets: women, old men, snotty looking, boys, and of course. Now, we live in a surveillance society. Cameras everywhere. Cameras in the cars, cameras in the house, cameras on the mailbox, blah, blah, blah. Now, don't tell me they don't have a picture of every single one of us. And they can't find those that are doing the bad stuff, the crimes. You got a mystery. Now, that's just an oxymoron, isn't that? You have so many cameras, but yet, it's the perpetrator who does the crime escapes. That sounds like a plant to me. Of course, that's my own opinion. But of course, we are a nation of opinions, right? Now, the spirits are here to infuse common sense, right? Common sense and also direction to us, because we all go outside, no matter what planet on Earth you're in, what land or part of the planet. That's right. Oh, what planet on Earth are you from? That's a cute one. But wherever you hail from on this Earth, right? Above the earth. I'm not talking about the underground people or the people that live in caves or trees or whatever. That's another subject. Because we can't say for sure anything, because we have to keep an open mind, because things are so ridiculous and so this evil energy. And it's, I was looking at the cable today, and I was thinking that how come every single show that is available, the 200 or 2,000 channels I have, which are rerun, when they talk about sci-fi or they talk about using psychic energy, they always have maniacal. It's either witchcraft, it's either the demons, it's some kind of ritual, and it's always negative. Now, the closest thing you ever saw to anybody using psychic powers, psychic gifts, our other part of ourselves, is maybe the Matrix. But how many times can you watch that over and over again? But then again, that too involved bang, 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 and bloodshed. But you never see people being trained, which, you do know that each country, their military has a unit of psychics. So, it's something that is top secret. They don't talk about it. And that in itself is aggravation. So all the things they do not talk about, and of course the triggers. Now, they've been triggering us to think of people who speak more than one language, or that don't exactly look like you and I to be the almighty criminal. Okay. That's wrong. We would just like their governments to give us a good hello, how are you, welcome, as they got over here. And that's what we should be yakking about and screaming about. Of course, getting our jobs. That is, the jobs, the United States is falling apart. We do. So is Germany, so is Britain, so is France. Now, all these Western countries have been falling apart. And it's not because of you and I. It's because we're bloated. Our aggression is put in the wrong direction. It's like talking with your ASSS. You know what I'm talking about. Not talking with your heart, not talking with your mind, not talking about where you want to see a human collective go. It's talking about squabbling over might makes right, which is crap. Total crap. Intelligence, powers, good high frequency. That's what pulls. Everybody knows about all these phallic little these weapons, putting out these nukes here and there. I mean, that's just a testosterone display, like an Easter basket. Because if they really, 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 really want to do negative harm, or maybe they are doing, is the fault lines go all over the world. Just act, maybe they are. I mean, you have HARP, you have all these frequency type of weapons. That is the real kisser. So you have to ask yourself, why are they preparing this, following out these biblical old time books? And then remember, the Bible that exists today is missing 77 stories. 77 chapters are missing from the Bible that you read. So, and none of the people that were like, maybe just one of the stories that we're allowed to read, they actually were there at that time. Otherwise, they were just visions, which I'm happy to, read as much as I can. I'm sure you are too. Hi, thank you for the little love. I'm happy that, but the thing is, I'm trying to say is, are they using ice, killing some woman? Okay, so she was agitated, and she was like, what is this? This is not the country that I want. I mean, I don't know the woman, but the point is, why did you shoot a woman in the face? And why did you, why this little guy? Okay, he wasn't a tall man. He was a little guy. I have a thing about height sometimes with men. Okay, I admit it. Everybody has things. Everybody has things when they're a little aggressive. Like a lot of people are aggressive towards other people based on certain things: height, looks, skin color, hair, good looking, ugly, whatever. I mean, we all have things that we are triggered by. But when you put a gun and you put get down and you bark orders at people, that's not civil. That's a barbaric civilization. And then to say you can't be what's the word? You can't be accountable if somebody gets killed because they don't listen to you. Maybe the person has had 3 weeks of training. 3 weeks of training. And then you get with a little guy, and these cars are big too. I mean, I stand in front of a car, I feel dwarfed. Who doesn't feel dwarfed when you're sitting in front of some 8-engine car, big enough to be, a studio apartment in New York City, and you're telling the person to get out of the car. I mean, please. How many of them are going after 18-wheelers and saying, hey, get out of that, 18-wheeler, or I'll, shoot your ass up? How many people are saying that? How many? And just give them time. We're going to be with a machine gun. I like that in countries, too, that they have machine guns on the corner. It's not a pleasant sight. I have another drink. It's not a pleasant sight to see the military running amok. And it's photo. It's drama. It's a photo op. It's like, look what is America? What is America? What is America? What is America? Might makes right. No, that's not America. That's not America. Yes, there's a history of killings and a history of domination and all sorts of inequities, but aren't we gearing towards something more? Why do we always have to be into barbarism and ego? And why is it always happens to be triggered in the Western Hemisphere by male energy, which is kind of stupid. It's stupid, not kind of stupid. It is stupid. It's antiquated and stupid. But anyway, let's get back to the heavens. The heavens. We're going to ask now the spirits, the cosmos. You have to be agitated to ask this question because civil war is a total breakdown. And especially now, in 2 more weeks from now, the Trump administration has said, I'm mindful of this now, has said that they're going to cut off totalmente, all federal aid to 5 states. And California and New York, among 3 others, are in the list. All cities that provide sanctuary. In other words, they're not allowing ICE to come in and do what they please. Do what they are hired to do. Agitate. I mean, and you never, I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy to run a country as though you're running some kind of rodeo show or a Mexican or Spanish bullfights. People are not disposable and you shouldn't treat them that way. Yes, we all have good and bad days, but when you have a gun, you should have a reserve and you should be trained. This is what the spirits are all yakking at me at once, and just like do this reading and see if this is the point of keeping this up, keeping ice known as what is it known as? Oh, Hitler's Gestapo, the Gestapo, Second World War. They went around terrorizing people. They had a bit of a swing during COVID with its, what do they call that? Did you take your 6 meters in this? I mean, we have been through some rough times, people. We have been to some planned type of experiments like lab rats, and we're still going lab rats instead of collectively realizing our position in the universe. Now, the spirits are all over. They're telling us to get it together. The universe is screaming at us, nut zoo, nut zoo. And that means nutty zoo, not some kind of like ni hao moment. We're not doing it. We're like, yep, we get crazier and crazier. Pacifying someone's ego. I must have this. Why? Why? Is that going to make you get into the heavens? So what if you give your descendants ill-gotten gains? Does that make your clan the clan? Something will always come along bigger, brighter, and greater than you and knock something down of yours. That's almost the law of gravity. And that's where it takes to emphasize to get up higher. But we don't seem to be. We seem to be following a pattern. Is ICE the trigger for civil war? Right away now, the state of Minnesota is going ballistic, and the rest of them are set up for the big freeze. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? We asked the question. First of all, we have to know that we're being set up. Is ICE unabashedly being used as a trigger for civil war? We can't have chaos fast enough. This wants to come out. I'm going to put this aside. Unabashedly being used to take this one. All right. I think I got right now this phase. Is it being used as a trigger? I think that's it. Let's see where we go with this, all right? Now, we're just taking, ICE. Now, you've seen those videos on Twitter and X and all these, social forums. Is ICE being used, the immigration cops, the federal cops, like, do we have to go around with our birth certificates, our Social Security, our stamped, we're going to have, tags on our wrists that we are American citizens or we are visitors. Now, the first thing we get is the world. The world. That's pretty up there, right? The world. The condition of the world. Civil war in every single country. Civil war trigger. Each country has a different way of triggering civil war. Get you agitated. Get out of the house. Get in the streets. Yak, 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 yak. It's almost like the demons. Lower energy demons are running amok. You can just see them with reptilian heads and slithering scales and all sorts of like weird looking mouths drooling and saliva spittle and blood and goo and stench, urine stench everywhere. The world. Is this what we want? To be conquered by this low vibe. Low vibe. And you know what? The world is also where the world wants to go. It can't have change. You're dealing with some low energy creatures, I wouldn't say that word, beings, creatures, when you can't introduce change in an effective, calm manner. No, you have to beat people over the head. You got to treat them like hurting some kind of farm creatures. hurting some kind of farm creatures. To the slaughterhouse you go. Fear me, because I want to eat your adrenaline, your adrenochrome, your whatever, your brains. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Message: chaos. Out of chaos comes order. How about out of chaos comes odor? Stink. 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 The stink of what? So, we have the Knight of Swords. Ice. Maybe when you have leadership, it does not know what they're doing. When leadership is only dealing on a superficial me, not us, not representing the people, then you have the sweat of indecision. Okay, what's step two? What's step two? Trying to figure it out. Do they play Scrabble? Hangman? Ouija board to find out what's going to happen next? Do they have a plan? I'm going to rule the world. Oh, there is a plan. There is a plan. Now, in almost 100 years ago, especially like in the 1940s, it became obvious. This could be the plan they're following. Listen to me. In the 1940s, there was a group of people, the technocrats. That's 80 years ago, right? 80, more than 80 years ago. Almost 100 years ago. The technocrats. Now, they were a group of people, wealthy, of course, because they gave themselves a name. In fact, Elon Musk's grandfather was involved in this. And they even had a map. Now, check this out. A map of the Western Hemisphere, the United States. And guess what guess what that map looked like? It took Greenland, it took Canada, Mexico, and then right now the part of the northern part of South America. Check that out. They have a map. Go look it up. Technocrats, 1940s, their map and their movement. They were shot down or they went undercover. That's what they're doing. And look at here. We have a 5. 5 of Swords. Civil War. Doesn't that look like the world? Look at all these swords, all this agitation. They're putting in ice. Negative. Negative. The trigger. And then we have the 8 of Wands. Oh, there's a lot of energy involved in this. There's a lot of energy in this fight. This is something that is definitely, they want to weed out the pacifists? And especially since they're trying to, the New World Order. The New World Order. I will teach you monkey heads, you clods, you whatever you want to call us. Whatever we're being called. We're not being called intelligent, worthy, respected beings. We're treated like crap. We're being treated like crap. The world right now, an oberus, almost, shape, eating oneself. And then we have the horse. Big time communication, all subtleties are gone. And then watch your back. And then we have the 8 of Wands. It seems very clear that we have a situation that ice is being the trigger to get your backside off the sofa and your feet moving. No matter how you feel about somebody, you have to realize what is going on. Total chaos? Order out of chaos? Why is the Trump administration bringing chaos? And what is their plan? It's not original. Remember the technocrats of 1940s. Look it up. Look it up online. The technocrats of 1940. Their goal is hideous. And for the masses to accept their goal, well, they need to be beat up. There's going to be more jobs, more this, more that. I thought robots and software were going to take all the jobs. Oh. And then we have the fool. The fool. The fool shows all the manipulation of the message. Of who is on top today cannot necessarily be who's on top tomorrow. Also, this is a High Arcania card. So this is also in the perpetrators of this new system, whatever they have to say at the moment, like, she was wrong. That's why she got killed. She didn't listen to a federal agent. The agent's word is law. Listen. Life and death. If you put yourself in front of a moving car, well, can't you at least shoot the tires? Do you have to shoot the driver in the face? Do you have to pull a woman on her way to work out of the car? And then, of course, people react like beasts because they're being treated like beasts. It's common sense. Where are we going with this? Where are we going? Civil war. This is another pliable situation. Whatever tacky thing that happens, life and death included, there's going to be some sort of explanation. Some sort of like, I told you so. Listen, this is what you get. The rationale, do as you are told. Judgment. Look at this now. See? A new world order of a technocratic state is underway. And they need lots of agents to act in any type of manner appropriate to bring this change about. And they're going to be doing it by a lot of hitting on the heads, beating up in a brutal manner, because we're viewed as brutes, not worthy to eat, not worthy to sleep, not worthy to be respected. And even when you hear leadership going, oh, the economy is great, fabulous, we are the most, best, great, go into the store. Now, these are people that do not shop for themselves. They have bodyguards. They're living in a very cloistered fairy tale existence. Wait on me, wait on me. I'm the noblesse of the earth animals. You are just an earth animal, and you will do as I rule. That is a very telling thing, isn't it? Very, very telling. I would say very much that ice is being used. Even the most sleepiest spirits who could care less about our terrarian earth surface life. It's like, read the writing on the wall. It's loud and clear. We're supposed to be, they're going to keep doing things. ICE is going to keep doing things to a point of contention. And you have people that are being set against neighbor. Now, when you're in an environment, it's always been told, a house divided cannot stand, right? So if there's no house, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? There's no house. You're not sleeping, you're not eating, you're afraid. You're feeling demoralized. Civil war. So you're going to hit somebody over the head. You're going to give them what they want. Well, It's time like this that every country has to realize what the country was formed for. It was formed for its people, not to be a slave to another. Not really. Whether you own assets or you don't own anything, you're not a slave. You own your lungs, and you are respectful of life. And you realize too, you're not stupid because you realize that other people do not respect you. And they want you to act in a certain manner. That's why they're out there in the streets banging up on people's head and acting stupid. So what do? Well, the first thing you do, if you notice there's a certain commonality. They beat up people like in who don't look like they're going to give them, who look common. All right, that's a horrible word to say. If you're in, either you all have to dress the same, like everybody wears a pair of like black pants and a black shirt, or everyone dresses up. Either you wear a uniform. Like one thing about like the ICE members or any of the police, they have their uniform, right? They have their uniform. Now, well, you can just dress up and just be aware that the people are trying to like strip you of your dignity. Now, granted, there are criminals around. There's enough dope and other types of, there's enough drugs to make any type of behavior commonplace. Also, too, a lot of our movies, our celebrities are also criminals. Pedophilia is commonplace. It's horrible. Our schools, instead of teaching, are instructing little ones to be aware of their sexual potentials instead of their mental brain potentials and their other type of potentials. Right away, hello, how are you? When you have a penis or a vagina, instead of like, hello, how are you? Here's a telescope. Look at the heavens. Here's a microscope. Look at all the things right in front of your face. Things like that. Or here's a needle and thread. Why don't you make a little handkerchief for yourself to blow your nose? Save the trees. There's nothing like that. Nothing. That's a simple little. Or here's a seed and a little Dixie cup. Grow a carrot. Grow a potato. Nothing like that. Nothing. It's like stupid things. Look at our society needs to be re-examined instead of like perpetrating in our civil destruction. Let us pinpoint what is wrong in an emphatic, linguistic manner with words. Because nobody's listening to us anyhow when we're out and about and we're screaming. But let's just have more conversation, more words. Words are powerful. Just like if we have a leadership that's saying there's no inflation and we're living the best years of our lives. So maybe we should all like take our receipts and show the bills of what something you can't go in the store. Everything costs $5, $5, $6, $7. You're lucky when you go out of the store at $15. You have something just to eat for that day. 15 USD. And our shelves are empty. What's this? Excuse me. And what do we have? We have a problem. America. Even the fact that instead of calling it the United States has a problem. It's our leadership. It's our people that they think that war is a joke. War is one of those Pokemon type of like digital headsets you put on. They don't really understand that blood is red and it flows freely. And don't put yourself in a situation that somebody stupid with machinery connected to them is going to act as they see please in front of you. Suck it up. Suck it up in terms of you see someone aggressive? Hello, sir, how are you? Even though you're thinking, blah, 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 blah. Because that person's on a mission because he or she has been instructed to act like a jerk. To act in an antagonistic manner. Because that is the judgment. If If they want civil war is on the palette, don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Refuse. Refuse to participate in the civil war. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to, and it's pretty hard not to. But you know what's being offered right now? Triggers to bring in a new world order of technocracy. A technological revolution of which you will be nothing more than one little byte in a long line of digital dots and dashes, slashes. Now, all of you have been on the phone with software. It's really infuriating, isn't it? It is. Software is horrible. A robot is going to be even more. And of course, voice robots, robots that look like a humanoid with 2 legs and 2 hands and some, silicon head. Is this what we want? We have a lot to complain about. What is America and what is America doing? Are we just going to be considered stinky little life forms? Or are we getting ready to join the universe? Now, our leadership doesn't want all of us to be aware of the universe, which is why it's a big secret. And you can even see our Secretary of War, as soon as our administration called the Secretary of Defense, the Department of War, right away, you knew what was happening. Could they shout out any louder than that? Than this? Wake up, America. Wake up, America. North, South, Central America. Wake up. Do you want to live this way? Do you want to be like a bite? You could have 2 credits, 2 cups of 16 ounces of water today. You have to do X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, you're shut down and shut off. You used your 8 gallons of water today. You only can have 1 bath a week. Not even bath, shower. You have no privacy. We don't have it now. That's already well underway. You see how stinky this is all about? That's why they want you agitated to show you stupid masses that we are considered to be not very bright. All around the world, especially the United States, dumb. Even my friends abroad, dumb Americans. At least it's okay, I know that. Because we don't like to look at the 360. We don't even like to look at the 180. Well, we have no choice now. We have no choice, right? We have no choice because the judgment is in, and this environment is energetic. And it's up to us to take that energy and put it where it belongs. Yes, our prices we should just show send all our people who think that unabridged international and domestic warfare is great. Less for us and more for them, right? More goodies for them and less for us. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong. Our leadership is wrong, in the wrong direction. Acquisition, not that type of acquisition. You can't take it with you. You cannot take your riches and your gold with you. No, you can't. However, you can take your energy with you, your frequency level. And that's something like the weaponized, if you talk weapons, high frequency weapons will do this and do that. There's HAARP, it's been around forever. There's also sonic frequencies, there's photon light frequencies. There's lots of things going on that they do not talk to you correctly. Because they go, ooh, we're still back there, the planet of the apes. We're thought of being the planet of the apes. No, we're not. We're not. So right now, we're in the midst of something very poisonous. But you have the choice. You have the choice. Do you want to go that way and give them what they want? Or will you resist? Resist. And resisting, does that mean you fight like somebody's coming at you with a gun and you're waving a rubber hose at them? Or somebody's coming out with you with a gun and you're going to use a gun too. I mean, that's what they want. They want chaos. Don't give them the chaos. Talk about the ills, the wrong. Keep it in. They want to say, "Oh, you're not here legally. You're not a legal citizen, or you're not worthy. You're low class. You're this class. You're middle class. You're this. You're that. You're an idiot." Now, granted, all these things could be true. But they also, these people who are yakking at you, yelling at you, these orders and directives, have the same thing in their family. Maybe they're married to, something, 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 or their child is something, 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 or their parent is something, something, something. The same thing, they're yelling at you. Remember that. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Civil war. Give it to them. Is that gonna, remember, the agenda is already planned. They think of us as like lab rats. There's somebody has a small city of just a lab of rats running around, mice. And they're going, well, we give them this incentive, we give them that incentive, we give, they move this way, they move that way. Sniff, sniff. No, it's bigger than, do not show them that kind of reaction. They wonder, how long can you hold out with such abuse? How long can you hold out? And there isn't any particular, Democrats or Republicans and all that kind of hoopla. It's called ego. Ego. There's one direction all this is going. And remember, the technocrats of 1940, their plans, go look it up. It's not about wealth. Of course, all these things are just like, extras. It's like, I guess when you rob a bodega, you get some ice cream or potato chips or something like that. That's how the oil and the silver and all these things, because the whole process, the whole motive for this pirate action and this violence is to bring in the technocrats. And it's already well underway. People can't be trusted, but people, they mean farm animals. When they say people, they mean farm animals. Us, livestock, sweat people, sweaty people. Hello. Yes. So don't give them what that is being expected. That's like you walk into a classroom as a little kid. We've all been through elementary school, most of us. Some of us were lucky enough to be homeschooled. But let's say you were just like educated. Like you walked into that classroom when you were a little kid, sweet, innocent little kids. And then this predatory person, male or female, looked at you and go, They right away looked at your height, your body, etc., etc. All these 3D things. And they decided, I'm going to treat you this way. People never graduated from that point. And also the reciprocant of that type of behavior never managed to realize that somebody's acting out their own stinky little core egos. It's a lot to contemplate, but it's also very subliminal and it's also very primal. It all comes down to what you inside, between your ears, your brain, your heart, between your shoulders and your chest, your heart, and the vibration you've achieved. What do you want? Do you want to see your country in civil war? Do you want to see any war? And, war, do you want your place to look like the Gaza? Do you want your neighborhood to look like Ukraine, Somalia, all over? And another thing, too, this could all be some sort of, this is a plot. This is not just the United, it's too many countries. And then you don't know that this isn't also perpetrated by those societies that mingle with other planetary, interplanetary, interdimensional, blah blah. It's things that were kept away from the masses. Remember, you're only a prisoner of your own acceptance of in the box. Don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid. If somebody thinks, oh, that's really ridiculous, or oh, so what? Very ridiculous. Who cares? Is it ridiculous that you have military people in the streets grabbing people out of the cars, telling this, let me see your papers? This is not America. This is not all America. What being friendly? Being nice? Smile? Put a smile like even the Joker smile. Of course, the Joker smile's insane. I shouldn't say that. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Thank you for the legs. Think about it. Do not give these people, the spirits, the essence, the universe are telling you, the psychic impulses are developments at stake. And not just one or two people or three people or maybe like 3,000 people are necessary to move humanity. We're all necessary because we're here for a purpose, and not to get hit over the head, by some Nimrod, or to be acquiesced to egocentric absurdities. We're here for a cosmic order, the cosmic order of where we should elevate ourselves to. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. But, and even when some of us act stupid, well, perhaps that's the way they internalize themselves into a scare, because they're scared. They're really scared, and they think something being stupid, no matter what kind of behavior you do, is the right way, because fear is a difficult thing to accept. I'm scared. It's normal to be scared. It's so scared when you have unbridled emotion that has a destructive direction. And all this activity has that hallmark.